Our conversation today is still in line with the Global Entrepreneurship Week, and I have a guest that will be speaking with us this morning. I have in the studio already Morin.O. Obaweya. She is the founder and creative director of Morin.O Designs Limited, a contemporary leather handbag and accessories design and manufacturing brand out of Africa to the world. She specializes in sharing African beauty, craftsmanship, and creativity with the world. Morin.O Designs create handcrafted luxury leather handbags, designs, collections spanning handbags, wallets, iPad covers, and more are crafted with the finest of leathers. All right, thank you so much, Morin, for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Good morning. It's good to be here.
All right. So I'd like for us to quickly delve into our conversation today. But while we are doing that, I'd like to encourage everyone on here to please settle in. If you have questions, you can drop them in the chat. Please settle in because we're about to have a very fantastic conversation this morning. All right. Now, I would like for you, Morin, to just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. My name is Morin.O Obaweya, as has been said. I'm an entrepreneur. I embrace entrepreneur as a lifestyle. I'm the creator, I'm the founder and head designer for Morin.O Designs Limited. I'm a pharmacist by profession, but a creative by inclination. I have I have other aspects of my life, of course. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a minister. So basically that's who I am. And like I said earlier, I embrace entrepreneurship as a lifestyle.
All right, thank you so much for that brief introduction. At least now we know extra. We know that you're a pharmacist, which was actually surprising to me. Now, let's look at the Nigerian entrepreneurship space. What are some things that Nigerian entrepreneurs are doing well that you think could be expanded upon in order to make them more relevant in the global market, considering the fact that, of course, we're in the Global Entrepreneurship Week, and also considering the fact that you have some experience with selling your brand globally. So what are the things you think the Nigerian entrepreneurs can do better that they're already doing that can be expanded upon to make them more relevant in the global market?
Okay, so the first thing I would say about Nigerian entrepreneurs is that they are very, very resilient. One of the things that identifies every entrepreneur who is able to play, who is able to survive, who is able to make progress in the kind of terrain that we have, that we are in, is definitely a resilient person. And for you to be able to navigate through business in any climate, you must have that virtue, I would say, of being resilient. So Nigerian entrepreneurs are resilient, which is good, meaning that they would be more able to navigate difficult terrains. So that's one of the things also that Nigerian entrepreneurs are doing more and are doing better is that they are beginning to leverage on technology. And that is really one of the key things that one needs for globalization, to be able to play in the global market, technology. And another thing that Nigerian entrepreneurs are beginning to do more and better is that they are also leveraging on the communities that that they can avail themselves in, because cooperation is key, collaboration is key, and co-opetition too is key. So being able to leverage on the communities that they find themselves in is something that Nigerians are beginning to really do right and get to do better, and they can get to do better. Being able to develop the skills that will enable them to do their businesses better, to maximize on the opportunities that they have, is also what Nigerian entrepreneurs are beginning to get really better at, which is very encouraging, because then that kind of tells you that the future is would be more stable for business.
Thank you very much for sharing your insight on that. Let's take a look at some of the top problems affecting business owners in emerging markets, because one of the things you mentioned is collaboration. Now, I believe that there are some people who will tell you they have encountered problems in that regard. But let's take a dive through all the other problems that affect business owners in emerging markets.
So, of course, we know that in emerging markets, and of course, we can take also Nigeria as an example, there's a lot of instability. There's economic instability. When you look at some of the policies, some of the terrain that we find ourselves in terms of economic deficiencies, in terms of sporadic regulations and laws that interject into the day-to-day running of your business. As a small business owner, for example, you are still trying to navigate through many things. Payment systems, being able to put tools in place to know who your ideal customer is, attracting you, and then so many policies, that keep on changing, and it's really disrupting. So, this is what you find consistent in emerging markets and emerging communities. Also, they could be, sometimes they're political. They're also cultural instability. In our climate, a lot of business owners are facing, a very unfavorable work ethic. You hire people, you still need to micromanage them. Now, that is a cultural instability. I mean, this is where we have found ourselves in Nigeria. So those imposing regulations, laws, and then a lot of bottlenecks and bureaucracy. And of course, corruption too is something that emerging markets, the problems that emerging markets face. So there's so many financial infrastructure deficiencies and, unstable, just instability. And of course, in our own terrain, so many things, apart from financial infrastructure, all infrastructure, power, the road networks, the amount of time that it takes you to perform a task, especially when you are going from point A to point B, all those things are harsh. They're very harsh. And, that is why I said in the beginning that for anybody in Nigeria, for example, to thrive, to even have the guts to step into the business terrain and remain there, must be somebody who is really resilient.
Beyond resilience, there was something you mentioned that actually stood out for me, and that is cultural instability. Now, it's one thing to employ good hands. It's another thing to just employ people because let's just employ. Now, how do you think entrepreneurs can bridge that gap between employing very great hands that they don't have to micromanage, as you stated? What do you think are the key things that entrepreneurs should look out for?
Well, what I would say is that a lot of times entrepreneurs also have to commit to training people to what they want. However, there are certain foundational attributes or skills that we need to look out for. Now, a lot of small businesses may not be able to hire premium personnel, those who would run without you having to micromanage, or those who would add value, you know, at the level at which you dream about, you know, because you may not be able to afford those. And, you know, so one of the things that entrepreneurs should really look out is they need to be able to be informed on how to hire right at whatever level they are. So, for example, for me personally, I know that there are certain things that human resource personnel know about human psychology, about, you know, the way humans perform, that I may not know. So I would need to leverage on that knowledge to be able to hire right, because even hiring right is a skill on its own. Because you must be able to look at the trajectory of a potential hire, to be able to say, okay, is this the kind of person that I can invest in to be able to bring up to be of value in my business? So and of course, another thing that one of the major things that entrepreneurs must also look is teachability, you know, which is tied to, you know, the training I'm talking about. And, you know, teachability also has to do with, you know, integrity and honesty. Because for somebody to be teachable, it means that the person is saying that, look, you know, I can do things better. I'm willing to do things better. I can take correction. I'm honest enough, or I'm humble enough to see myself as I am and look at the gaps and look at areas in which I can improve to be of better value to this organization. So, you know, that teachability is key. Integrity is key, because when somebody has a willing spirit and is honest, then you can shape that person. Then you can, because a lot of organizations now are not looking for what people write on paper, you know, in terms of, okay, this is where I have schooled. No, people are looking for people who they can train and who would grow with the organization and who will grow with the. Yes, so those are some of the things. And of course, entrepreneurs have to be able to do their due diligence on every hire. You must be able to go the extra mile. You know, check out the information. Who were their former employers? Who, you know, do physical checks. You know, background checks. Do thorough background checks on every hire that you try to go with.
So, thank you so much for that insight. I like the fact that you mentioned that you shouldn't underestimate doing due diligence, and the fact that training is quite essential. Now, let's look at, I wanted to say something about that, but let's just look at some other things before we come back to it, because that seems to be a major problem that entrepreneurs face, especially when they're trying to scale up, finding the right staff and finding staff that you will train, and you know that training will be useful for the business, not training that you will do and then they will pick to their heels and disappear after the training.
Absolutely.
All right, let's look at technology. What technology can indigenous business owners utilize to enter the global market, given your years of knowledge and versatility? I mean, are we talking just digital skills, or are there other technological advancements that can help indigenous business owners shore up their businesses?
Absolutely. So I'm going to be broad-based, you know, in terms of technology, because there are so many tools out there, but technological tools out there. However, it's not everyone that is adaptable to our environment, which is why it is very important that, you know, you research enough to discover the simple tools that would be of use to your business. So, of course, there are information technology tools, and information is key. You need to be able to go to, you know, have your relevant apps and, you know, sites that, you know, you go to to gain knowledge on your business, for your business. And of course, where you'd go to get knowledge on emerging trends, because it's not about what you're just doing now. It's also about you being positioned and being prepared to adapt to changes and growth that are occurring in your sector. So information technology tools are key. Of course, digital tools are key because digital marketing tools, I would say, also are key because it's now a very, very huge aspect of any growing business that you leverage on digital marketing tools. And of course, that encompasses social marketing, social media tools, and they're all over the place. As simple as WhatsApp. WhatsApp is a digital marketing tool. And these days, there's so much, even if you did not have other social media apps or social media tools that you're using, WhatsApp in itself is expanding as a digital marketing tool. Simple, but it can project your business. You have a WhatsApp business account, you are able to warehouse your catalog, you are able to do WhatsApp marketing, you are able to reach out to people, answer their questions, and all that. And of course, operational technology tools. How do you create a system that tracks everything across board in your business? Especially as your business is scaling. You cannot be everywhere at the same time. What are the tools that so there are operational tools. I mean, there are tools even in Google. There's Google Suites that you can set up to be able to manage and track inventory, track movement of goods, track, deliverables, monitor what you are meant to do, and of course, accountancy tools, simple accountancy tools that can be used to ensure that your accounting records are tracked and kept in place. So there's so many technology tools that one can avail oneself of in business. It requires a research because you need to know and understand how to apply those tools to your individual business.
Thank you so much, Maureen. Before I proceed, I would like to mention, for those of us that are watching, it would be amazing for you to invite your friends to join this conversation because Maureen is on fire this morning. She's just dishing it out, blow by blow, giving us blow by blow accounts of what you need to know as an entrepreneur. And this is one of the benefits of joining and following MSME communities across social media platforms. Trust me, you want to invite your friends who are entrepreneurs, who want to start businesses, who want to scale their businesses, to come and gain very fantastic insights. So please, if you're watching, don't forget to invite other people so that they don't miss out on the remaining hotness and freshness that Maureen is dishing out to us this morning. All right, let's proceed. Thank you so much for mentioning the tools that business owners need to use technologically to utilize their businesses in the global market. However, there are some things now in this age of automation tools, payment systems, talking about logistics, data, business analytics, and all of that. Some people would tell you that navigating the digital space is a bit of a Herculean task for them. And so they may find it difficult to find their balance in time. What advice would you have for such entrepreneurs?
Okay, so I can identify. That's the first thing I would say, because I'm always on the go. As much as I want to leverage on every technological tool that applies to my business, it doesn't happen in real life for me. I mean, some people are a bit more techie, so they quickly jump on those things. But I think the first advice I would give is that as much as possible, simplify the process for you. Don't deck on it you don't have to be a techie on the road all the time.
Okay.
But set up the devices, for example, that you have in a manner in which They can, they can prompt, you can quickly look at, and all that. But find time where you can now have an overview. That's how I cope. That's how I cope. Yes. I try to set up, around me using, the devices that in a way in which they can help simplify the process. Another way you can do it also, because yes, navigating it, like you said, can really, really be a bit of a challenge, especially when too many things are bombarding you. You are hands-on. Business
exactly.
And just when you had planned to sit down and look through things, something just hits you, a staff just goes a wall, or somebody just displays some idiosyncratic behavior, and too many variables. However, like I said, try and simplify the process. Break it down into little bites that you can refer to along the way. Another thing is finding somebody within your team who is, there's always that techie person within a team. Oh, some people are so techie. In fact, they kind of just rely on
they live and breathe tech.
They live and breathe technology. So identify that person and let that person do a lot of maybe the inputs, the reviews, the monitorings, the thing, and update you in, an analog manner. I tell some of my staff, I say, just make it more analog for me. I'm an analog person. Just make it more analog, break it, simplify it. So as much as possible, let's look at ways to simplify the process, but because this is something that your business cannot do without. So, and of course, one of the things that you need to learn to do as an entrepreneur is please think outside the box. So find ways.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I really love the think outside the box thing. I was going to ask you a couple of more questions before we wrap this up, considering the fact that we have a certain time limit. Now, I would like for you to advise business owners within the context of how they can manage their businesses with all this inflation and economic turmoil going on. What do you think entrepreneurs and business owners generally can do to stay afloat, at least?
So the first thing I would like to say is that stay focused. Stay focused. An entrepreneur must stand the test of time. So stay focused, don't despair. Think outside the box, like I said. When a problem comes, think of ways in which you can do things differently that would enable you to surmount the challenge. Leverage on cooperation. Leverage on your communities. When people are together and they're better able to deal with problems within a business because, they're leveraging on their strengths, on their knowledge and all that. Then take calculated steps. Step back and take calculated steps. Take simple, well-calculated steps. And like I said to the members of my team, research, research, research. The more you know, the more you are able to navigate through the hurdles of the businesses that you are into. Yes, so,
That has been an amazing advice. I love the fact that it is stay focused and do more research, because you can never go wrong with research, can you? Now, this is where we have to wrap it up on this conversation this morning with Morin on Enterprise Chat, organized by MSME Africa. My name is Obaweya. Thank you so much, Morin, for joining us and sharing fantastic insights this morning.
Thank you for having me. I had fun time.
Now, just a quick recap before we go. The conversation this morning was just still in tandem with Global Entrepreneurship Week 2022. And the conversation has revolved around how entrepreneurs, indigenous business owners can scale their businesses or can compete favorably in the global market. Our conversation has been with Morin Obaweya, who Obaweya, right? Pardon my mispronunciation, who has been a very fantastic guest this morning. And also she has experience, of course, with her handbags and wallets and iPad back covers and all the beautiful products that she produces, and she sells on the global market. So you can be rest assured that she's giving you advice from experience. Thank you once more for joining us. Before we go, I'd just like to remind us that it is necessary to leverage on communities such as MSME Africa. If you don't know so many communities, at least MSME Africa is one that you can join. You can follow us across all social media handles. Just follow MSME Africa across all social media handles and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And of course, there is a bubbling community on WhatsApp where you can get insight. You can even advertise your products one day in a week. I mean, how fantastic is that? Our business growth series is on the 24th of November at 7:30 p.m. Do well to be in attendance and invite others as well. Don't forget, it's going to be very, very insightful and power-packed, as it were. Well, don't also forget, as an entrepreneur, you need to research, you need to think outside the box. You should not underestimate the place of training your hires and doing due diligence. Who are they? Where have they worked before? What is their capacity? What is it that they have done before? You need to do all of that. And also be informed about everything, be informed about inflation rate, be informed about economic policies, be informed about hiring rights, be informed about your business practices, be informed about the technological tools that are available to help you put your business or position your business in the right spot. That has been our conversation this morning. Thank you once more, Morin. And this is where we say have a fantastic day. Till next time on Enterprise Chat. Enjoy the rest of your day and apply this